Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get your opening act on here. Please make it super loud for the very funny Kaiser Lee.
Babies are stupid, huh? Babies are just tiny immigrants from the future. And sure, right now they just want like a handout and free healthcare. But you know later on they're going to be stealing jobs from hardworking millennials. We should build a really tiny wall. I do everything that I can to avoid producing babies. I practice personality-based contraception. You guys are out here wasting money on condoms and pills, and I'm just this way. I am like if the Walmart t-shirt section fucked a MacBook Pro. The only thing that's cool about me is that I can make robots. My girlfriend, though, she is a sex machine. That's right, I built her out of electric motors I bought on the internet. Some of those motors came from China, so technically she's Asian. And she is super hot. But someday I'm gonna fix that cooling issue. He's not even laughing, he's just nodding. That was really great. I think that the best kind of catangles is rectangles. I like them, and buildings are them. And when the brickmen were building the buildings, they had a bunch of little rectangles that they stacked up, and they put them together, and they made these places where people can live and they can work, and it's great. I leave my apartment rectangle. I walk on a sidewalk made out of rectangles. I go to my work rectangle. I open the door, rectangle. I push rectangular buttons on a rectangular keyboard, and I make the lights on the rectangular screen change. And when I do a good job, my boss gives me rectangles. I take the rectangles to the store and I exchange them for goods and services. And the store people give me back change. I do not like change. Change is circle money. So I do what any of you would do. I take the circle money outside and I give it to the homeless. And they're comfortable with it and they use it willingly in their commercial transactions. Because that's what homelessness is. Rectangle deficiency. I'm from Montana, though. Anybody else? About half the crowd. That's what we expect in Bozeman. First 3 years I was telling that joke, I was down in California. There would always be one really drunken woo in the back. Debbie, you are not from Montana. You are from Stockton. And the only thing you have in common with Montana is the meth. Stockton is like the Billings of California. I've never been to either one, but they are both terrible. We've got this city in Montana that is called Great Falls. Anybody? 2 words in that name and they're both lies. Like, sure, it's not very great, but it's also not very false. What they do have is a large, prominent butte. Which the city that is currently named that does not. they should trade. Great Falls could be Butte, and Butte could be post-apocalyptic St. Patrick's Day. Do you think people from Butte ever look in the mirror and they're like, at least we're not from Billings? It's kind of the way that a Target looks in the mirror and says, you know, I'm not a Walmart. Or that a Walmart says, come on, buddy, we're not Kmart. Kmart's just like, I'm not a laundromat. Laundromats are sketchy, man. Every surface in a laundromat is designed to be wiped down, but they're still always sticky. There's always a handwritten note threatening you with violence if you leave your clothes there overnight, right next to a poster for a concert that's coming up next Tuesday in like 1993. It'll be the world's nicest laundromat, and there's always this one folding plastic table. Under that table is a leprechaun who will stab you and then sell you mad. The only thing sketchier than a laundromat is the laundry room in my house. The day that I moved in there, I spilled a combination of orange juice, detergent, and cat litter. I don't even own a cat. Whatever fungal, bacterial, viral wonderment is fermenting makes the Chinese lab where they made the coronavirus look like a suburban kindergarten in Oklahoma. That is the room where I go to make underwear clean enough to touch my balls. Babies are stupid, huh? I saw this baby the other day. This baby was wearing yellow Converse All-Star sneakers. First I was like, man, that is a cool baby. And I was like, wait a second, that baby's not cool. That baby didn't pick out those sneakers. Somebody else picked out those sneakers. Somebody decorated that baby. Baby is not a lifestyle that requires decoration. Baby is a lifestyle that requires transportation and storage. What you do is you get the plastic bag, you put the baby in the plastic bag, you carry the baby around. The baby poops, hose off the baby, get a new plastic bag. You can get all these plastic bags from the plastic bag full of plastic bags that you've been keeping under your sink ever since you were a baby. My apartment is a mess. It is a mess because I do not clean it. I need, encouragement. I need discipline. I need your grandmother to come over and yell at me, get me to tidy up. I went on Craigslist to advertise for this. I said, dirty boy seeks mature enforcer to promote discipline. I was amazed how many responses I got to that ad, man. But I was also amazed at how much it was going to cost. And I'm not sure why we would need a safe word. I hate that. I told that joke one time at an open mic. This lady came up to me afterwards. She was like, I'd like to buy this handsome young man a drink. I don't know what is older than a cougar, but she was that, man. She was like a saber-toothed tiger. She was like a saber no-tooth having tiger. It sounds like I'm saying negative things about this woman, but I'm not. She was really cool. She told me about the time she gave a hand job to Herbert Hoover in the White House. Plus, like I said, she didn't have any teeth. My mom was hot, though. And I don't mean it like an Oedipus complex way, because I would much rather have sex with my grandmother. And when I wrote that joke, I took a video of that joke and I put it on the internet. And the first person who clicked the like button was my grandmother. And I thought maybe she doesn't have fast internet. She didn't watch it. She's just supporting everything that I do on the... No. The next time I saw her, she was so disappointed. She was like, I thought that you were going to be a pastor. And now you go on stage with the microphone and you say these terrible things. And so I just never spoke to her again. I waited for her to get so old that she had dementia and she forgot. And then I went to visit her down in Wyoming. She lives with my aunt and uncle down there, and I said, hey, Grandma, how are you? And she says, who are you? I say, well, Grandma, I'm Kaiser. I'm your daughter Cindy's son. And she says, oh, Cindy died. Believe it or not, Grandma, I had heard about that one. They told me right away. We're sitting on the couch and we're watching Game of Thrones. Right? My aunt and uncle own the TV, so they pick. And 25 years ago, this woman turned off the movie Air Force One because Harrison Ford said, damn. And now it's that scene where Pedro Pascal has the three-way with the man and the woman at the same time. I turned to Grandma, I'm like, Grandma, are you okay with the amount of sex that there is in this program? And she says, where do you think all of your aunts and uncles came from? We're hanging out a little bit longer, and my cousins say, Kaiser, will you please do your stand-up for us? I say, can we wait until Grandma goes to take a nap? So Grandma goes to take a nap, and I start doing my stand-up. And right about the time that I get to the part where I say she didn't have any teeth, out waddling from behind me, having finished her nap, comes Grandma. And she sits down on the couch next to my aunt, and I'm not going to stop because I'm a professional. And Grandma turns and says, this is the worst pastor I've ever heard. Find bumper stickers very convincing, don't you? You ever stuck in traffic, you're like, the back of that car is right. I will coexist. People who have Christianity bumper stickers always drive exactly like Jesus, who lived 2,000 years ago and had never seen a car. Little known fact about Jesus, the first part of him that came back from the dead was his lower jaw. That's right, it's his resurrection. Coming back from the dead is not a thing that I would have done if I had been Jesus. As soon as I got out of here, I'd have been writing Yelp reviews. 1 star of Bethlehem. Welcoming gifts were very inappropriate for a baby. I don't know who Frank is or what this incense. And to top it all off, you may think that this is not very Christ-like behavior, that Jesus would not do such things. He gets it from his mother. Mary was the original Karen. Even before he was born, she was like, what do you mean there's no room at this inn? I demand to speak to the manger. I have been dating a woman though recently. Rather, I've been seeing a woman. I once saw a woman. It was at the airport, and her luggage was rectangle, but down at the bottom it had these wheels on it, and I think that's very convenient. Like before they invented the wheels on the luggage, you just had to muscle it over, just like, ah! I wish that cart was closer. And I thought, when did they invent that? I went and looked it up, and it turns out that the first commercially successful wheeled luggage product was introduced in the year 1970. Do you know what that means? That means that everybody born before the year 1970, your parents, your grandparents, probably this gentleman, was a huge moron. Next time you talk to your grandma, I want you to be like, hey, grandma, you enjoying that fixed income retirement? Because you could have invented the most obvious invention ever. Would have been the greatest thing since sliced bread. Which is a really weird greatest thing, isn't it? I just imagine everybody before the slicing of bread with like 2 whole loaves, right? Maybe a lettuce in between them. I sure wish this was smaller. Come by with a knife, slice it up for him. Here you go. Wow! This is the greatest thing! Sucks that we can still get polio. But check out the sandwiches. Babies are stupid, huh? I don't think that you should have a baby. I think that if babies want to be here, they should be helping out. They should do chores, they should get a job, they should pay rent. You say babies can't do anything? I beg to differ. What you do is you get the little baby onesie, but on the front it's like a dust mop. Put something the baby wants over there, it crawls across, it cleans the floor. It's like a little baby Roomba. Actually, don't have a baby, just buy a Roomba. The Roomba costs more up front, but later on the baby's going to want to go to college. The Roomba's never going to want to go to college. Imagine if it did, though. 18 years this thing has been diligently cleaning your floor, and it just comes up to you one day and it says, Mom, I want to go to college. And you're trying to be supportive because in this hypothetical scenario, the Roomba is your child. And you say, okay, Roomba, that's great. What do you want to study? And the Roomba says, I want to study art history. And you're disappointed. But you can't really say no. And it studies diligently for 4 years at college. And it rolls across the stage with a little graduation cap and an extra short gown that doesn't get stuck in the wheels. And it enters the job market, and it discovers that there are no jobs for art history majors, whether or not you are a sentient vacuum cleaner. And it has to get a job at like Starbucks or something. And nobody laughed at that. You all work at like Starbucks or something. And it's working there at the Starbucks for like 3 weeks. And the manager comes over and is like, hey, Roomba, this is not working out. Your work area is impeccably clean, but you haven't made 1 cup of coffee. And so we're gonna have to let you go. And it rolls sadly back home and sits in its charging station all day. But I guess that's what we should have expected, right? Because when you're a vacuum cleaner, everything sucks. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kaiser Lieb. I want you to clap very loud for Nick Shigalov.